I'll just Calm Mind and Light Screen. Brutal Swing. Oh, it's Weakness Policy Calyrex, huh? That's a neat tech. Glacial Lance does so much damage. It's VGC Legends. It's the series where I spin a wheel, I get a random legendary Pokemon, I speed build a team with that legendary Pokemon, and I try the team out on the VGC Regulation I Best of 1 ladder. As always, the two reasons for which I do this are, 1, I like legendary Pokemon a lot, and I want to give each one a bit of a spotlight, and 2, speed building and trying out a bunch of teams is a fun little adventure that maybe teaches me some things along the way. I certainly have used some good teams and some bad teams in this series, and I have tried some playstyles that I wasn't very familiar with, some of which turned out very well, and some of which not so much. We're much further into this series than I thought we might get now. There are 20 legendaries remaining on the ladder, so, excuse me, on the wheel, so I think it's worth stopping and kind of taking stock. We have 1 legendary left from Generation 1. Mewtwo is the only one still standing. We have 4 remaining from Gen 2, which is really something when that generation started with 5. 2 from Gen 3, 1 from Gen 4, 2 each from Gens 5 and 7. Gen 6 was never on the wheel in the first place because none of its legendaries are in Scarlet and Violet. And then 4 each from Gens 8 and 9. Gens 8 and 9 combined are once again almost half of the wheel right now. And if you combine them with Generation 2, then you have a majority, 60% right there. So, as we spin the wheel once more here, will things start to even out a little bit, or will we start to see some generations fully removing themselves from the wheel, getting their final send-off? Let's find out what happens right now. Looks like we're in that Gen 8-9 space. Gen 8 specifically. Looks like it's going to be Miraidon. Okay, I was just thinking about this one last night, and I'll explain why after the cut here. By the way, if anyone's wondered why I make a cut between the wheel and jumping to Showdown, it's not because I want to have the Pokemon already filled in here. I could just do that in front of you. It's because I use different scenes in OBS to record them. The screen cropping that works well for Showdown doesn't work well for the wheel, so here we are. Anyway, the reason I was thinking about Miraidon is just last night I watched James Beck's video where he used Entrainment Smeargle to give Moody to Miraidon. I think that team came from Japan Nationals, although I don't actually know much about what happened at that event, but yeah, it was Moody Smeargle, Entrainment, and then obviously you take away your Miraidon's Hadron engine, but it was a bulky Miraidon with Calm Mind, and of course it ran Protect, and then I think Parabolic Charge to keep itself healthy, and Dragon Pulse. And so it would be able to set up with Calm Mind, and then also you could give it Moody, and it would get the boost from that. There's some luck involved, but it could sit on the field for a little while. The Smeargle helped it sit on the field, of course, with Follow Me. And then the other restricted was Ice Rider Calyrex with a Leech Seed set. And there was an Iron... There actually... I mistyped there, but there actually was an Iron Valiant to be disruptive into the opposing team and buy turns from Miraidon. So I was thinking about that team because I watched that video last night. It looks like a very fun one. If I had more time, you know, more days in this month before Reg I is over, I would consider trying it out. But in this series, I want to build my own teams. That is part of the premise of the series, so I cannot just copy another one. But it's a fun idea to start with, right? By the way, if you're trying to pin down when I'm recording, that video was a few days old when I got around to watching it. I kind of have a backlog of things to watch these days, so this is a ways in advance, but not that far. All that said, I do want to try Calm Mind Miraidon, not necessarily with Smeargle, but I don't think I've ever tried Calm Mind Parabolic Charge Miraidon. Once in a while I lose to it on the ladder. I just slap on choice specs whenever I'm using Miraidon, pretty much. So, this is a different take on the Pokemon that I think could be fun to give a go. And I have opened up Top Cut Explorer. I don't think I'm going to need much stats for Miraidon. I think I pretty well know what Miraidon runs these days. It's the spec stuff with either Terra Electric or Terra Fairy. Maybe Dazzling Gleam, maybe Discharge, probably, tied to the Terra type. It's Choice Scarf with Snarl. We've seen that a few times. It's the Calm Mind Parabolic Charge stuff, but I'm actually less certain of how to build that one because I haven't really ever used it. So I'm looking at Top Cut Explorer. Miraidon is the most used restricted in top 256 on 108 of those teams. But I'm looking specifically for Calm Mind, and none of them have it. Okay. Maybe it doesn't hold up in best of 3, I don't know. I really was expecting to find something useful here. Alright, well, I'll try some other events, I guess. This was Bologna, of course. The most recent one that we look at here. I'll do Utrecht first. Or before Santiago, I mean. Miraidon, again, the most used restricted in top 256. 118 uses, so 10 more than in Bologna. And 2 of them had Calm Mind. Both with Ho-Oh, Sinistcha, Incineroar, Grimmsnarl, and an Ape. Interesting. I'll look at the higher placing one. This one got top 32. No Parabolic Charge. Electro Drift, Dazzling Gleam, Protect, Covert Cloak. Sinistcha helps keep it healthy. Grimmsnarl sets screens. I mean, I think that skeleton makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know if Ho-Oh makes a lot of sense to me. I'm going to have to use Ho-Oh eventually in this series if the wheel ever starts picking from Gen 2 again, but I don't really understand Ho-Oh's place in this format. And actually, both of the Calm Mind Miraidon that show up here in Utrecht used Electro Drift and not Parabolic Charge. Alright, let's do Santiago and Melbourne. Miraidon tied with Lunala for number 1 restricted in the top 64 in Santiago, 27 each. No Calm Mind Miraidon, 1 used Overheat. That's a little unusual. And in Melbourne, number 1, once again, 59 out of 128. 3 used Calm Mind. 1 used Parabolic Charge. Now that's a team. Daniel Walker. Galarian Weezing, Toedscruel, Shadow Rider Calyrex with a Choice Scarf, Snarl, Trick, Astral Barrage, Snarl, Shadow Ball, Trick. That's pretty interesting already. Weezing, Toedscruel. Yeah, Electric Seed. I was blanking on the item on the team that James Beck featured. It was Electric Seed. That's right. That makes sense, right? You get the defense boost and you get your special defense boosts. I do think something like this is what I want to use. I'll fix the move order so that it conforms to my tastes, but probably want a different Terra type as well. This Miraidon was Terra Fairy. Makes sense. Even if you're not running Dazzling Gleam, which this one is not, it's a good neutral Terra type, right? A good defensive Terra type in this format because not much specifically threatens Fairy types. I guess Landorus is still a menace. I guess I need Landorus counterplay. Anyway, I don't know how much more of this team I'm going to emulate, but this is really something. This guy cooked. Having a ground type on the team is a good idea as well because Parabolic Charge also hits your ally. I do think Grimmsnarl makes a lot of sense to help keep Miraidon healthy. I also think Bulky Miraidon makes sense. Although if I'm not running Moody, I could run Moody. I haven't completely ruled it out. I just have to build my own version. If I'm not running Moody, then Bulky Miraidon is a little bit more hard-pressed to... Assuming I don't run a lot of special attack investment, a little bit more hard-pressed to boost up its damage. I guess I keep Hadron Engine, but if you're going to sit on the field for a while clicking Calm Mind, you're out of electric terrain a lot of the time. Unless I run, like, manual electric terrain Thunderous, which honestly I could do. I think Grimmsnarl makes sense. I think I want a ground type. Or I could run Therian Thunderous with Volt Absorb, but at that point we kind of lose sight of what the actual goal here was. Because then it doesn't get Prankster, right? I could run Groudon. I'm a little bit scarred by the Raikou video where Groudon missed Precipice Blades into 5 consecutive targets, but surely that wouldn't happen again, right? Blood Moon Ursaluna is probably, or some form of Ursaluna, not necessarily Blood Moon. And Ursaluna is probably a good bet. I could run Iron Shreds. I'd have to think about what its role is on this team. I mean, it's boosted by the electric terrain, so that's good. I just have to think about what it's here to do, right? Because I want to engineer the team towards setting up with Miraidon. And that means I don't want like crazy fast hyper offense where Miraidon is just out of place, unable to keep up with its own teammates in fast-paced games that end quickly. And I'm just running a bad Miraidon set instead of a good one for those purposes. Sandy Shocks could actually be kind of fun. Not Tinglu. That nerfs my own Miraidon. Probably I want an Ursaluna. Could I do Miraidon Lunala stuff? I don't think that works. Partly because I don't have the Electric Seed available for Lunala, but also because I think if Miraidon is going bulky setup oriented, I probably want the other restricted to hit harder immediately. So some kind of Calyrex is probably best. Ice Rider is probably still the best partner. It also helps me deal with Landorus. Unless it's Terra Water Landorus, but then, you know, that has a more interesting time with Miraidon all of a sudden. I could run Gligar. If you like Gligar. With, like, Tailwind. That's a funny idea. I have seen Gligar on the Reg I ladder once or twice. Quick discharge, quick parabolic charge, or earthquake next to Gligar. Either one's fine. Alright, I want Grimmsnarl. I think I want Ice Rider Calyrex. Incineroar, probably. Okay, what does Miraidon have trouble dealing with, right? Physical threats. Opposing Ice Rider in particular, even with the Electric Seed boost. I have no way to boost its physical defense further beyond the Electric Seed. Zamazenta is a problem, because it resists Dragon Pulse and can stop Parabolic Charge with Wide Guard. So Ice Rider Calyrex is a problem, Zamazenta is a problem, Landorus is a huge problem. Miraidon... iffy. Shadow Rider Calyrex depends on my setup, but if I have Grimmsnarl and screens, and maybe Incineroar, I'm thinking about using Incineroar, then I have some cover for Shadow Rider. Okay, let's say the main threats that I can think of off the top of my head are... Oh, Zacian is a big one as well. Zacian, Zamazenta, Ice Rider, Miraidon, Landorus. Zacian, Zamazenta, Ice Rider, Miraidon, Landorus. This is why these teams run Ho-Oh, right? Because Ho-Oh checks both wolves. It's helpful into Ice Rider. You have that Sacred Fire 50% burn chance. Honestly, Ho-Oh is pretty good into Miraidon too. Alright, you know, I think it's time to rip off the Band-Aid. I think it's time to use Ho-Oh. I'm gonna have to eventually in this series anyway. Probably go physically bulky with it. Sacred Fire, Brave Bird, Regenerator, obviously. Let's go back to... Was it Utrecht that had... I know they didn't run Parabolic Charge setup, but yeah, both these teams had Ho-Oh. Oh, I still have the paste open. Brave Bird, Tailwind, Sacred Fire, Protect, Terra Grass, Leftovers. I like it. I don't know what kind of EVs they have. Ho-Oh seems pretty flexible in terms of EVs, but I think I like the idea of physically bulky because I think I need it to threaten wolves, frozen horses, and maybe, you know, dino lizards. I don't think I'm running Gligar on this team, especially now that I have a different Tailwind setter. I do want a ground type, though. This team ran... not a ground type, huh? They don't have one. No, they don't have Parabolic Charge. Incineroar is also helpful into Ice Rider. If I don't have Landorus anymore, then I think I still need more... Or I don't have Calyrex anymore, then I think I still need more cover for Landorus. I could run Urshifu. I could just do Rillaboom and Urshifu in the last two slots. Right? The Miraidon is not too dependent on electric terrain anyway. It gets the seed boost, but if I'm setting up slowly with Calm Mind, then I can't really count on the electric terrain sticking around. So grassy terrain is kind of just strictly beneficial at that point, isn't it? But finishing the team out that way gives me no ground type. Unless I run Terra Ground on something, but then obviously that has a lot of opportunity cost to it. I can't Terrasilize Miraidon, I can't Terrasilize anyone else. Can I run my own Landorus? That doesn't really help me deal with opposing Landorus, but it might be helpful into other things. How do I not get overwhelmed by, like, Miraidon, Fluttermane, Chi-Yu stuff? Light Screen Grimmsnarl helps. Ho-Oh helps keep Miraidon in check. Incineroar helps. Wrong tab. Incineroar helps. Into Fluttermane and Chi-Yu. Does Blood Moon Ursaluna help? I could run slow Miraidon. You know, still invest in special attack and not so much in speed. I have Tailwind. I could implement Trick Room somewhere. This one has Trick Room Sinistcha. I don't know if Sinistcha holds up in this format. It'd be nice if it does. I could just do like Sinistcha Ursaluna. I'm down to try it. Does Sinistcha need a Focus Sash in this format, though? Probably just gets wiped out by a lot of things, right? This one has a Citrus Berry, which is interesting with all the horses running around. I have kind of copied this team now. I have 5 of the same Pokemon. I don't have an Ursaluna, though. But I was thinking some kind of Ursaluna for quite a while because of the Parabolic Charge, right? I want a teammate that can... I can also look at telepathy options. What gets telepathy? These guys get telepathy, but I think I'm pretty sold on Ho-Oh for the second restricted. It just makes so much sense to cover Miraidon's weaknesses. I think the synergy is just hard to ignore. And then, okay, it's kind of slim pickings after that. Rabsca could be kind of funny. But I think if I'm thinking about Rabsca, I'm fine with Sinistcha. And I mean, with Sinistcha, I can redirect attacks from Landorus, right? Create openings to do something about it. If I do manage to set Trick Room, then Ursaluna can just knock it out with Facade. I'm down to try this. There's probably some weakness that I've overlooked, but yeah, we'll give it a go. Light Clay Grimmsnarl. Terra Ghost, presumably. I have been running Reflect, Light Screen, Thunderwave, Spirit Break lately. That feels like the sort of generic best combination of moves for Grimmsnarl. I was experimenting at some points with no attacks Grimmsnarl, but that's just so exploitable by opponents in so many positions. I think Spirit Break is important, or an attack is important. But also, I think I can do without Thunderwave on this team, because I don't think... I have Trick Room, I have Tailwind. I don't know that Thunderwave speed control is that important. I think I can do Reflect, Light Screen. I definitely want Spirit Break. Like I said, I'll be rearranging moves to suit my aesthetic preferences, but I can do that off recording. And then either Fake Out or Parting Shot in the last slot. And I think this is a team that wants to pivot Ho-Oh and Sinistcha around, so I think Parting Shot makes a lot of sense. Get that Prankster Parting Shot, good stuff. Incineroar, Intimidate, obviously. Terra, Ghost or Bug. Do I feel strongly? I'll do Ghost. Why will I do Ghost? Because... a little wary about, like, Rock-type damage, maybe? Maybe not. I'm not that afraid of Shadow Rider Calyrex when I have Grimmsnarl and Ursaluna. And Calm Mind Miraidon. I guess that's the real thing, right? The biggest liability for Incineroar with Terra Ghost is Shadow Rider Calyrex, but I have other ways to check that. Safety Goggles or Rocky Helmet. I'll do Helmet, I think. I have Spore immunity. This stops Spore as long as the terrain is up. This is immune to Spore once its item is activated. This is immune to Spore if it terastallizes. A little bit... You know, I need answers to physical attackers, so Incineroar chipping them back, maybe even sniping some KOs is valuable. Fake Out for sure, Parting Shot for sure. I think I can just do Knockoff and Will-O-Wisp, like I so often do. Will-O-Wisp is also nice for dealing with those physical attackers. Sinistra. Maybe I don't need Focus Sash if I'm running screens, but I can't bring every Pokemon to every game, right? That is the fatal flaw of some of these teams, and this might be one of those. I can't bring every Pokemon to every game. Maybe I don't always have Grimmsnarl, although I imagine I bring Grimmsnarl a lot with this team. And it's more likely Sinistra that gets squeezed out in a lot of matchups. I could do Mental Herb, Citrus Berry. I have answers to horses. I'll do Citrus Berry. I don't think Sinistra's getting one-shot too often. I think I do bring Grimmsnarl a lot of the time. I definitely want Rage Powder. I definitely want Trick Room. This one used Life Dew and Matcha Gotcha with Terra Water. That's pretty solid. I think I'm good with that. Life Dew helps keep Miraidon or Ho-Oh healthy. Matcha Gotcha. Nice attack. Maybe even get some burns. Do I want Terra Water? Alternatives include Dark to stop down, to shut down Prankster taunts or to stop them. Fairy for that defensive utility as well as the Dark resistance. I think I'm a little bit more sold on Terra Fairy in this format. I could consider switching it to Dark if Taunt is proving an issue on the ladder. And then Ursaluna, it'll be the typical Terra Ghost that I run. Facade. Headlong Rush. Earthquake, I guess. I mean, I can click it next to Ho-Oh. Not a lot of Protects on this team, so not a lot of positions to click Earthquake. Miraidon does have Protect, and Ho-Oh is immune. I think it's worthwhile. Earthquake is legitimately game-breaking in some positions, so, you know, I could consider dropping it for Shadow Claw or something, but I really don't think I need to here. And I think that's the team. I'll fill out EV spreads, and then I'll get on the ladder. Okay, everybody has a simple EV spread now, and more importantly, all the moves are in the right orders. Time to get on the ladder. Miraidon is shiny locked, of course, but you know what its shiny looks like. It's Future Paradox Pokemon shiny. Oh, Articuno immediately. Okay. I don't think I was ready. But sure, we'll see how this goes. Alola Ninetales, Articuno, Miraidon, Incineroar, Iron Hands, and Ice Rider Calyrex. So I'm afraid of Ice types spamming their attacks into Miraidon. But I can Terastallize Miraidon and set up with Calm Mind, and a lot of their team has trouble dealing with that. But not if they freeze me. Then they don't have so much trouble, do they? On the other hand, Ho-Oh goes kind of crazy into Ice types, right? I'm running mainly physical bulk on Ho-Oh, but so it won't hit them terribly hard in snow. But Ho-Oh has such natural special bulk, it should be okay with, like, Blizzard from Articuno, right? I could even consider leading Ho-Oh. I do have to be alert to their Miraidon. Kind of want to just lead my Miraidon and try to set up. I mean, that's always how I want to play this kind of team. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it isn't. Could lead Incineroar with Grimmsnarl. I want screens, right? I want light screen especially, right? Let's do Ho-Oh, Grimmsnarl, Miraidon, Sinistra. This is our first test of how this team actually plays. Like I said, one worry about this that I have about this team is that it might be the kind that wants to bring all 6 Pokemon to every game, which you can't do in this format, so that's always a bit of an issue when that comes up. But yeah, I want that immediate light screen. This is a super threatening lead, obviously. They have that electric and ice coverage, which is very good into a lot of teams, but notably very good into my team that I'm using here. Is there anything I can do about it? I think I'm down to just let Ho-Oh get damaged and get a Sacred Fire into Ninetales. And yeah, light screen for sure. Electro Drift just KOs Ho-Oh. Alright, that's good to know for later. But I get my light screen up, I get Miraidon in here, I can Terra Fairy and Calm Mind and just try to win the game with Miraidon, I guess. I might as well Reflect, it could come in handy later. They Terra Electric. Uh-oh. There's going to be big damage coming out. Volt Switch, Grimmsnarl, okay. I get a Calm Mind. Miraidon has 3 boosts on it now, just from that. They get Ice Rider, good thing I Reflected. It could have a clear Amulet, so I might not be able to Parting Shot into it. Also, if this is Encore Ninetales, it's slower than my Miraidon, so that's good. They can Encore Miraidon, or they can Encore Grimmsnarl because that doesn't matter. What am I even saying? Oh, you know what is a problem here? I don't have a way to hit Ninetales that doesn't also hit my Grimmsnarl or Sinistra. I mean, it's not the end of the world, I think, if I hit Sinistra with a Parabolic Charge, right? The alternative is I ignore the Ninetales and I Dragon Pulse Calyrex. That leaves me open to Encore, if they have it. I'll Dragon Pulse Calyrex, and yeah, I'll Parabolic Charge and I'll Parting Shot Ninetales. I'm Parting Shotting Ninetales because Calyrex might have a clear amulet. And maybe I should have just gone for it and found out. Yeah, it only does 80 to my Sinistra. But now I've exposed Sinistra to that. That just KOs. Yeah, well... This is a Combine Miraidon team by someone who doesn't know how to build a Combine Miraidon team. Their Aurora Veil is hard to deal with. That Glacial Lance really didn't do much to Miraidon though, so actually I can probably just keep setting up with that. I'm going to click Parting Shot into Calyrex now. We'll find out whether it has a clear amulet. I should have done that last turn. They actually just protect this turn, so it's a good thing I went for more setup. The problem is I have no recovery. Oh no, that's not true. I have Parabolic Charge. I was going to say I have no recovery on Miraidon now that Sinistra has gone down, but that's the point of running Parabolic Charge. It heals itself. My screens still have a while before they fade. I think Ninetales would probably have shown Encore by now. If they've saved it all this time and they beat me with it, then good for them. Can't be mad, right? But yeah, I'm just looking for the setup here. I also could get frozen. It is clear amulet Calyrex. They knock out Grimmsnarl. They get their Calyrex to +2. That's really scary. I think I go back to clicking Parabolic Charge now. Just as the terrain fades, but what can you do? Gotta keep Miraidon reasonably healthy. Here's their Miraidon. They actually do give me the terrain back, so that's something. That'll give me a bit more damage into Calyrex. That does a fair bit of damage. Single target Glacial Lance does a lot back, though, and their Miraidon will be faster than mine, because mine is slow. And, you could probably just knock me out with their Miraidon, but let's see. Mine goes first. Huh. Are we speed tying? Do I know? Mine might be... The only way mine is faster than theirs is if they've lowered their speed for some reason. Let's see. I don't think they've... Oh, they do probably have Trick Room on this team. They have Ice Rider. Is it possible that they did that? It would be weird, I think. Okay, no, it was a speed tie. Alright, GG. That makes more sense. Alright, rough start, but we have overcome those before. But we've also failed to overcome those before, so who knows what'll happen here. Here's another Miraidon Ice Rider team. This one also has the Nightmare Landorus, along with their Shifu, Incineroar, and Grimmsnarl. I might be best off trying to get Ursaluna going in this game. How does that work with Miraidon? Grimmsnarl, Miraidon, Sinistra, Ursaluna. That means I have to leave Ho-Oh behind. Ho-Oh's not really that good here, though, is it? I mean, in theory, it's good into a couple of their big threats, but... a lot might come down to which Ursaluna form it is, actually, because how well Sinistra deals with it depends a lot on that. I'm gonna do Miraidon, Grimmsnarl, Sinistra, Ursaluna. Sinistra and Ursaluna in the back. I probably do want to try to get them going in this game, although the Calyrex is a problem for that. But yeah, I'm not gonna throw them out in the lead spot. I think it's Rapid Strike or Shifu, which I think is preferable to Single Strike here. I think it's easier to handle. The only thing is if I Terrasilize Miraidon, they can start Surging Striking it. But if I don't Terrasilize Miraidon, Glacial Lance, I don't have a Glacial Lance switch in. I brought nothing but Ice Weak Pokemon except Grimmsnarl, so I think I Terrasilize Miraidon. I'll go for a Calm Mind. Go for a Reflect. It's really iffy. Right, because Surging Strikes will also ignore the Reflect, I think. But they actually just U-turn or Shifu out, so that's the best I could ask for there. Landorus is here. I can Light Screen. And maybe just protect Miraidon so it doesn't take big damage from Landorus this turn. And then I can go for a parting shot into Landorus after that if Grimmsnarl survives this turn. And if Grimmsnarl is KO'd, I can get Sinistra in. I have Rage Powder available. Sinistra kind of just loses to Calyrex, actually. Maybe I'd rather Trick Room. That's twice now that I've run into teams built around the very common in this format Electric and Ice synergy of Miraidon and Ice Rider Calyrex, and I've just been kind of overwhelmed. So that's an obvious problem for what I've built here. They Terra Poison, they attack Miraidon. Glacial Lance does not KO Grimmsnarl, but the next one will. Landorus is no longer immune to Parabolic Charge. I can go for another Calm Mind, or I can just click Parabolic Charge. If I do that, I probably want to bring Ursaluna in. Maybe I can get away with bringing Sinistra in. I don't really want to bring Ursaluna in on Glacial Lance. Even behind a Reflect. I'm going to Parabolic Charge and Parting Shot Landorus. I'll go to Sinistra. This could be a throw, but we'll give it a try. We KO Landorus with a crit. That's good. I like that. Sinistra survives the Glacial Lance, but not super well. Urshifu went before Miraidon last turn, but I am running a slow Miraidon, so I don't know what that tells me about this Urshifu set. If I Rage Powder, though, then I sack Sinistra and I never get Trick Room in this game, but I can force Urshifu to attack Sinistra, it probably KOs, and then they don't get a Glacial Lance this turn. On his Parabolic Charge. They protect anyway. Okay, so I don't love my play there. Are they bringing Miraidon in? They are. That'll take a Parabolic Charge pretty well. Put it mildly. I can get Ursaluna here. There's a good chance that it speed ties with their Calyrex. Maybe I'd rather get Grimmsnarl back on the field. And I can click Parting Shot into Miraidon. I think I need to just be pressuring them. So here, I'm going to Parabolic Charge and Headlong Rush Calyrex. And I think there, yeah, like I said, I think there's a good chance that we're speed tie here. Of course, it's Ursaluna and Ice Rider Calyrex. Electro Drift into Miraidon does a lot of damage. I only got one Calm Mind. I get a decent amount of health back with Parabolic Charge. Who goes first? Or who goes next, I mean. It's Calyrex, but Glacial Lance only does half to Ursaluna through Reflect. I could have just clicked Facade there. I don't know why it felt safer to click Headlong Rush. It's because Ursaluna's not burned yet, so it felt, you know, higher power, safer. They're threatening a KO on Ursaluna. Ursaluna probably just beats Miraidon if I don't let them knock it out. I think here I Parabolic Charge and I switch to Grimmsnarl. They can beat that by attacking Miraidon with the Ursaluna, but maybe they don't do that. I don't think I have an out for that. I mean, I guess my out for that is attack Urshifu with Ursaluna, but that's a hard read that I'm not feeling comfortable with right now. So I'm going to switch Ursaluna out, anticipating them to try to knock that out, because it probably always beats their Miraidon in this endgame. And I'm going to go for the KO on Ursaluna before I bring Urshifu. They did the thing. Yeah, that was smart of them. Obviously, I saw it, but I wasn't comfortable committing to the read. And sometimes that happens and costs you a game. Alright, what's next? Eternatus. This ought to be more manageable, I think. Although, if it's Terra Fairy and sets up with Cosmic Power, Parabolic Charge is just not a very strong attack. Also, if it poisons Miraidon, that's pretty bad, but I can try to cover for that with Sinistra. It's another Ice Rider Calyrex. Ice Rider Calyrex is proving to be a massive problem for what I'm running here. Which I guess is not shocking, especially when I haven't gotten Incineroar into a game yet. I'm going to lead my Restricteds this time. I'm looking to use Ho-Oh to pressure the Ice Rider if they lead with that. Otherwise, I'm looking to set up with Miraidon. I definitely bring Sinistra to this one. And I think I have to bring Ursaluna. That means leaving Grimmsnarl behind, which isn't great. But I think that's what I do here, because I might just need big damage into Eternatus to actually win. Okay, it's Eternatus and Rillaboom, so they can fake out into something. I'm not worried about a fake out into Ho-Oh, so I'll protect Miraidon. I'm not even worried about that. It could be Dynamax Cannon Eternatus. I don't know anything about its set yet. I'll do this, and I'll just Sacred Fire the Rillaboom. I think if they flinch Ho-Oh, there's not really much that costs me, so it's fine. By the way, this team, I'm not pivoting this team around as much as I sort of envisioned I might, and that has a lot to do with the fact that Miraidon is built to sit on the field for a long time. And then everyone just has so much offensive pressure in this format. Every single opponent so far has had Ice Rider Calyrex, which is a lot of offensive pressure just by itself. Okay, it is Cosmic Power Eternatus. Alright, I guess we'll play this game. And so... what's my point? And so it's hard for my Pokemon to pivot around when they're all just it's just threatening KOs in all of them. And it's Toxic Eternatus. Okay. We're not beating that. I don't think. Maybe I can still do something with Ursaluna. Maybe Ursaluna and Ho-Oh. Maybe, but the Rillaboom is such a problem. Try to get Sinistcha in. I still want to burn Rillaboom if they'll let me, but so far they're not letting me. But yeah, if I can get Trick Room, then Ursaluna becomes a lot more threatening. Rillaboom is still a problem. I'm going to go for Trick Room here before they land their Toxic into Sinistcha. That surely is coming. What do I do? Do I switch to Miraidon? They're probably going Incineroar here. They get another Intimidate into Ho-Oh that way. If I go Ursaluna, they get an Intimidate into that? Or does Incineroar come in first? Wrong Pokemon. Oh, they do get an Intimidate into Ursaluna from this. I also can't Earthquake. I mean, I can, but it's bad because grassy terrain is up. I could go Miraidon, change the terrain, and Earthquake, but then I sack my Miraidon for whatever -1 damage I get. They also probably just fake out Ursaluna here anyway. I hate letting the Eternatus set up, but I think I have to remove its buddy so they stop putting me in the fake out cycle, right? I'm gonna click Matcha Gotcha. That might burn something. Burning Rillaboom would be good, and I'm just gonna click Facade into the Incineroar so they fake out. Okay, yeah. Can't burn Incineroar. I could burn Eternatus and get chip damage on it. Fire Spin. Ursaluna's trapped now. Toxic Fire Spin Eternatus. I'm gonna Life Dew and Facade the Incineroar slot here. Just try to keep Ursaluna healthy and, yeah, get damage onto Rillaboom where I can. But now they've trapped Ursaluna on the field. They can Grassy Glide it. Facade did a lot, though. They get Toxic into Sinistcha. They can never trap Sinistcha because it's a Ghost type, but I really don't have much reason to want to switch it out right now. I can Protect and Life Dew. Life Dew does work through Protect. And Matcha Gotcha. See if I burn Rillaboom now. I'll do that. They just go straight back to Incineroar. They keep up the fake out pressure. Ursaluna's still trapped, of course, by the Fire Spin. I'm running out of Trick Room turns. I mean, this is how these teams play. You can't be mad at it, but it's frustrating when I'm using something I whipped up that's a little bit not as good at this kind of setup mode. I still can't switch Ursaluna out. I also just protected. I can Life Dew and Facade the Incineroar slot. Oh, they're giving me their Rillaboom? Okay, finally those guys will stop cycling around. That's progress. Might be too little too late, but we'll see. Eternatus is at +4 now. I probably just need to crit it if I ever win this. Fire Spin's still online. Oh. Don't know that I have a way to beat that. If I do, it probably involves switching Ho-Oh in and protecting Ursaluna here. Is this the last turn of Fire Spin? I don't know how many turns Fire Spin lasts. Glacial Lance does a fair bit. We're still here. They can always just switch back to Incineroar. I guess I can kind of pin that slot if I Sacred Fire and Headlong Rush. I don't know if I have enough damage to really properly pin them, but I think they might want to pivot to Incineroar here. That fits the way they've been playing so far. Protect. Did they get another Fire Spin into Ursaluna here? No, they landed into Ho-Oh. I make the same play again. I need to break this game open somehow. If this doesn't work, then it was probably just doomed anyway. Except now they can Glacial Lance Ursaluna. Okay, no, they do go Incineroar. I'm gonna say if they know what I'm doing, they could Glacial Lance Ursaluna there. Eternatus gets to +6. But again, I kind of had to let that happen because its teammates were shutting me down, so I had to get rid of them, right? At least I think so. Maybe I was playing this wrong. Ho-Oh is taking so much damage now, and I can't switch it out, so it probably just loses to Calyrex, right? I mean, Calyrex could just protect here, and Ho-Oh... Calyrex can just protect here, and Ho-Oh drops the residual damage. So what I'm actually going to do here is click Tailwind with Ho-Oh, and I'm going to switch to... Oh, I can switch to Sinistcha. And then maybe Ho-Oh survives? Tailwind means that when I get Ursaluna back in, it can probably go faster than Calyrex. If the Tailwind is still up, but I thought of that part before I thought of the Preserve Ho-Oh for another turn part. I do get to do that. They haven't Terra'd, right? Well, maybe I can burn this Calyrex. I'm giving them a Glacial Lance boost, but again, I brought 3 ice weaknesses. What can I do about that, right? I can take another crack at the burn, right? 2 chances to burn. This one's 50%. It burns. Okay, good. The fact that Calyrex is about to get boosted now kind of offsets that. But I got a lot of damage on Calyrex, and I can get Ursaluna back in with the Trick Room. Okay, yeah, I guess I missed that they could do that. I think what I have to do now is go Miraidon, Protect. I'll click Life Dew with Sinistcha, but what does it really matter here? Then I get Ursaluna back in, and I can protect through my own Tailwind. And then Ursaluna, this could be a Speed Tie and Trick Room, who knows. Yeah, I need Ursaluna to have a plausible chance of going before Calyrex. I'll go for the double Protect on Miraidon, because I don't really have any reason not to here. This has been a frustrating game, but I mean, it's totally fine and legitimate. You know, there's nothing morally wrong with what my opponent did. It's just a difficult team to play against. Okay, physically bulky Miraidon actually takes the Glacial Lance from the burned Calyrex, but then that doesn't take all the residual damage. Do they protect Calyrex this turn? I don't know. I'm gonna Facade it. They still go first. Okay. Alright, so that's 3 games, 3 losses, right? My first adventure with Calm Mind Miraidon, not good. I think it shows that I haven't used it before. Gothitelle. Okay, this is some Wolf Glick stuff. This is actually just his EUIC team, isn't it? They don't even have a second restricted Pokemon. Usually these teams are updated now with, like, Shadow Rider Calyrex or something. Okay, I mean, I know the team. It's not super fresh in my memory. This Miraidon that I've brought kind of loses to Perish Trap, doesn't it? What I can do is Grimmsnarl. If it's just Wolf Glick's team, it's not Clear Amulet Koraidon, so I can do maybe Grimmsnarl and Incineroar. Screens, I can pivot out of an early game Perish Trap, and I probably am looking to win with Ursaluna. I'm not even sure that I want to bring either of my restricteds to this game, although Ho-Oh goes kind of crazy here. They rejected open team sheets. Maybe they've changed the sets. Otherwise, like, do they think people don't know it? I'm just trying to think. I want Ursaluna, I think. Does that mean I need Sinistra? I'm gonna hope that it doesn't. And I'm gonna do this. Gothitelle, Screamtail. They led the Perish Trap stuff immediately. Actually, I probably shouldn't have brought Grimmsnarl to this one. I don't think I needed it. Probably should have brought Sinistra instead of Grimmsnarl. I was thinking screens to cover for Miraidon, but I have Intimidate into Miraidon. Unless they've changed the set, which they might have. I mean, they did deny open team sheets. Wolfrine fake out Gothitelle. Oh, Encore Screamtail. They can stop my pivot moves. Oh, that's annoying. I guess they can only do it to one Pokemon at a time, though. They just protect turn 1 because they want to see what I use and potentially lock me into it. They taunt Grimmsnarl, so that also... They actually can stop both of these Pokemon from pivoting out now. But that's not important. My more important Pokemon are in the back. It's not good. They also could disable the knockoff. They could disable the knockoff, or they could lock me into knockoff. I think I click a different move. If knockoff comes out because they use Encore, that's not the end of the world. What different move do I want? Honestly, let's click Will-O-Wisp into Gothitelle. It would probably just protect, right? But, you know, residual damage is still damage. It does protect. Screamtail goes for the Perish Song. Okay. Okay, the problem with this is now they can lock Incineroar into Will-O-Wisp. Probably should have just clicked knockoff. My bad. Oh, I can always Terra Ghost to manually switch out of the trap as well. With either of these. I'm just going to try to keep attacking Gothitelle. There's no trap to worry about at all if they let me knock it out. Terra Water. Taunt into Incineroar. That's fine. I attacked Gothitelle with both of my Pokemon. What else did you think I was going to do? It survives. Okay. Alright. Sure. And then it gets to protect this turn. Both my Pokemon are taunted. They can't switch out. Gothitelle surely is going to protect, so I'll just focus on Incineroar. They actually switch back to Screamtail. Okay. And then they Parting Shot. Okay, yeah. That's good. That's good Perish Trap technique. Except that I attacked that slot. But what they're going for is they pivot Gothitelle back in and they still get to protect on the next turn. And Screamtail can Encore disable lock something. I wasn't thinking about that when I attacked that slot, but that worked out nicely for me. I still have Reflect up. So yeah, I don't feel too bad about... Maybe I should let one of these go down this turn. I think it's Grimmsnarl. It was always less useful. I don't want to switch Ursaluna in on a close combat, potentially. So I'm going to switch Incineroar out to Ho-Oh, but I am going to let Grimmsnarl go down. I can get... I don't need a Light Screen. They didn't bring Flutter Mane. I'll just go for a Spirit Break into Miraidon. Protect Screamtail, they protect Miraidon. Okay. I guess I could have gotten Ursaluna in there. Oh well. I get Incineroar back. I'll just click Sacred Fire into Screamtail and Fake Out into Miraidon. I go Incineroar. Intimidate my Ho-Oh. This is still rough, for sure. Also running out of Reflect turns. They can Fake Out here, but Ho-Oh is I think not terribly threatened. If they don't Terra, then I can burn Miraidon. They close combat, but it's -1 in Reflect, so yeah. They don't get the KO. They take a bunch of damage back, and Miraidon never Terra'd, so it gets burned. They Terra'd Gothitelle, right? They couldn't Terra Miraidon. Miraidon's burned. That's huge. I still want Tailwind. Do I want Tailwind? Ursaluna is still going to be slower, isn't it? Let's click Brave Bird into Miraidon, and... I don't know, Parting Shot? They take the KO on Incineroar, they lower their defenses some more. I can knock out Miraidon here. And I've preserved Ursaluna all this time. I can bring it in. They can't switch their Incineroar out anymore. They can still click Parting Shot into Ursaluna as well as Ho-Oh. But... I also can't protect Ursaluna to set up the Flame Orb because... Oh, they also did get to pivot out one more time. I forgot that interaction. They get one Intimidate into Ursaluna. I can't protect it to set up the Flame Orb because they can just Encore. They have Fake Out pressure too. Honestly, Wolf Glick is a menace and needs to be stopped. Alright. Sacred Fire, Earthquake. I'm a huge fan, but Wolf Glick is a menace and needs to be stopped. At least I can click Earthquake next to my Ho-Oh, because it's flying type. Except they do that. They lock me into Brave Bird. I'd rather click Sacred Fire here, but it's not the end of the world. Probably better off with Brave Bird now anyway. It's stronger now that the sun is gone. Brave Bird, this. Earthquake, this. Ursaluna does get its burn now. Ho is going to be forced to struggle. Ursaluna gets Parting Shot. A crit would be nice here. Don't get to KO anything. And yeah, Ho-Oh is now struggling. Ursaluna is heading that way as well. I think they disable before Encore here because they don't want to let Ursaluna get another Earthquake off. So I'll click Facade into the Incineroar slot. They do disable. Struggle goes into Incineroar. It doesn't KO. Would be nice if it did, because then the Facade would go into Screamtail. Oh, the Facade goes into Screamtail anyway, because Ursaluna knocks itself out. Screamtail takes 50 from the Facade, and I just need a little bit more damage into it. Ho-Oh's Encore ends, and they forfeit. What a silly game that was. Perish Trap on both sides of the interaction is always such a puzzle. Well, a win's a win. The team finally got one. I didn't bring Miraidon to the game. Let's try to get a win where I actually do bring Miraidon. And then honestly, because I don't really have room to make it its own video, maybe I'll just try that team that James Beck featured with Moody. I've already, you know, fulfilled my obligation for the series of building my own team, so I might as well tack something extra on. This person is a Hattrem. I don't know why you ever run that over Hatterene. Is it slower or something? Also, everybody has Ice Rider Calyrex today. Also, this one is Volcarona, so they could potentially click Struggle Bug into my Miraidon. But I already said what I'm doing here. I want to win a game where I bring Miraidon, so I'm playing until I do that. I'll bring Grimmsnarl. I'll bring Ho-Oh. I'll bring Incineroar. We're just going all in on the Miraidon here. Alright. Iron Hands and Hattrem. We're going to start to see what Hattrem does. They have Fake Out pressure on the board. I don't think Hattrem is an offensive threat. I'm just going to click Calm Mind and Reflect. I don't know. I don't have a good read on which of my Pokemon they want to Fake Out. It turns out to be neither. So I do get my moves off here. Trick Room. Saw that coming. I'll just Calm Mind and Light Screen. Brutal Swing. Oh, it's Weakness Policy Calyrex, huh? That's a neat tech. Glacial Lance does so much damage. Oh my god. Well, I know it's not Clear Amulet Calyrex. I guess I can Protect and Parting Shot out to Ho-Oh. Or Incineroar, I mean. Get Intimidate. That's what I meant. So the Weakness Policy boost is gone already. That much is good. They've After You, so they can make the Calyrex go even slower. I see. Hattrem must be slower than Hatterene. That must be what this is. Here I can Fake Out Calyrex and Parabolic Charge to get some health back. It does mean Parabolic Charge into my own Incineroar, but we're fine with that. They just Protect. Well, I'm healing off of only my own Incineroar this turn. Oh my god, that does so much to my own Incineroar. Maybe that wasn't worth it. Alright, but I can Protect through the last turn of their Trick Room. I'm just going to click Parting Shot into Calyrex. Maybe Incineroar goes down here. They go Iron Hands. That means they get Fake Out Trick Room again. It's a cool team. Calyrex at -1 attack now. I can go Ho-Oh, but that's actually pretty threatened by the Iron Hands. Too bad I don't have Fake Out on Grimmsnarl. I could Fake Out before their Fake Out and Parabolic Charge. Not bringing Ursaluna or Sinisha is really rough here because they're the safe Pokemon to Parabolic Charge into. I could Terrestrialize Ho-Oh, but then obviously it's weak to Calyrex. What do I bring in here? I guess I bring Ho-Oh. I mean, I still have Regenerator on it, right? The problem is they can just Fake Out. Oh, well, I never Terrestrialized Miraidon, that's why I took so much earlier. I'll do it here. Parabolic Charge. I'll just Sacred Fire, Iron Hands, Fish Roar Burn. I think there's a Fake Out coming out into Miraidon here. So I think Ho-Oh will get that move off. I switch Calyrex out, makes sense. I got so many drops on it. Iron Hands gets Quark Drive boost here. I get my... oh, they Fake Out Ho-Oh, I guessed wrong on that. Parabolic Charge does so much to my own Ho-Oh, which feels pretty questionable, but Miraidon is health. Miraidon actually gets back to full, and I can at least switch Ho-Oh out and get Regenerator now. I'll Calm Mind and switch to Grimmsnarl, I guess, is expendable now. More expendable than anything else on my team. They Volt Switch. Are they bringing Calyrex back in? No, it's Hattrem. They might be looking for another Trick Room. Actually, I think I can go Incineroar here. Knock off Hattrem and honestly Parabolic Charge. It KOs my own Incineroar, but maybe I'm throwing my own Pokemon away a little too much here, but I think I need the damage into stuff. I did not account for Miraidon being faster than Incineroar. That was very silly of me. Should have faked out the Hattrem. I can't set Reflect back up because I don't have Grimmsnarl anymore, but I can Parabolic Charge and protect Ho-Oh here, and as long as Miraidon doesn't get one-shot by the Glacial Lance or something. And hey, Miraidon has taken a lot of HP from its own teammates. It's kind of being a bad friend here, but that has enabled it to stay healthy and sit on the field all this time. I do knock out the Calyrex now. Also, Incineroar was great this game, just shutting down the weakness policy Calyrex like that. Incineroar and Grimmsnarl together, getting rid of the boost very quickly. Their Miraidon is likely faster than mine. Actually, it might not be on this team. But mine is slow, so it's possible. Just Dragon Pulse it and Sacred Fire. Oh, right, they can do that. I forgot. But this should KO Miraidon. Then it's just Iron Hands. I have no other Pokemon, but I also don't think I need them at this point. I'll Protect here, cover for Fake Out pressure. Although, what does Hattrem do if they use Fake Out? Yeah, they just Protect. But Parabolic Charge is pretty free now. I have no teammates to worry about hurting with it. Get a little bit of health back from the Hattrem as I knock it out here. And then the Protect is actually nice because it gets me out of Trick Room. And I could just KO Iron Hands with, honestly, Parabolic Charge here. Or Dragon Pulse would work. But no need as they forfeit. So hey, we got a couple wins with this team in the end. The Hattrem was such a cool attack. I wonder what its base speed is. I'm gonna have to look that up. We did get a win for Calm Mind Miraidon. It took a while, but it did happen. And Calm Mind Miraidon went crazy, knocking out everything else on the field this game. Did my opponent KO any Pokemon? What happened to Grimmsnarl? Where is Grimmsnarl? Their nicknames are confusing me. When did Grimmsnarl get KO'd? I don't know why I can't parse this battle log, but must have been earlier. I don't care. Miraidon did so much damage to everything except itself in this game, teammates included, but it paid off in the end as Miraidon was able to stay healthy and close out the win. I'm going to make a cut here, and I'm going to use the team that James Beck featured that I think came from Japan Nationals with Moody, Smeargle, Quickly Entrainment into Miraidon because I'm super curious about that team and I have nowhere else I'm going to feature it, so see you in just a moment. Alright, here's the Moody Miraidon team that James Beck featured already, which I think came from Japan Nationals. Like I said, I didn't want to copy it right away because it is fundamental to this series that I build teams myself in it. But I wanted to get a game with it, see how I feel, because I'm not likely to feature it anywhere else. And this is the Miraidon video. Let's try a very different Calm Mind Miraidon team, not of my own making. This person also has an Iron Valiant. Zamazenta Miraidon, Iron Valiant, Farigiraf, Tornadus, Urshifu. Can I do... Miraidon, Incineroar. Valiant Smeargle. Miraidon, Smeargle. Let's just lead Miraidon, Smeargle. That's what I want to see here, right? And I'll bring these two in the back. James Beck was not just going for the entrainment right away in his video, but that's what I want to see here. How that plays out. Zamazenta and Iron Valiant. Okay. Iron Valiant is a threat to just kind of ruin Miraidon's day. I can Terra Electric. I'm not backing down. Not right now in this game. I can Terra Electric. Calm Mind. Entrainment. They go from Moonblast into Smeargle. But it substitutes Zamazenta, so they don't knock out Smeargle before it lands the entrainment, which is good. That would have made me a little sad. Miraidon now has the Electric Seed boost. A Calm Mind boost, except it lost the special. Oh, it lost the Electric Seed defense boost. Okay, but it got special attack. So special attack's already super high. I don't know if this is Encore Iron Valiant, but unless they Wide Guard here, I can just Parabolic Charge and follow me, right? An Iron Valiant will go before Miraidon because it's speed boosted. Moonblast takes out Smeargle. Body Press into Miraidon, that does a lot. But I break this up, I get some health back, knock Iron Valiant down to its focus stash. Look at that, almost back to full. Another special attack boost from Moody, that's nuts. And losing defense is no big deal. I can go Iron Valiant here. And I think I will. And I think I'm down to just Protect and Moonblast. Be nice to get a speed boost on Miraidon. It's not like the end of the world if I don't, but yeah, I'll just preserve Miraidon for now. My Iron Valiant goes first. I don't know the speed interaction here. The defense from the Moody, that's good. Miraidon gets some bulk back. It'll take that Body Press a lot better now. I don't think I need to rush into clicking Parabolic Charge again. I can just Dragon Pulse the Farigiraf and not attack my own Iron Valiant just yet. And actually, I can lock the Zamazenta into Protect. However, Protect again without even being locked in. Farigiraf just drops. Plus attack minus speed. Not ideal, but Zamazenta now is unable to do anything. And we don't even get to find out their last Pokemon as it just gets knocked out. So that's the team that I believe came from Japan Nationals that I saw in a James Beck video that motivated me to use Calm Mind Miraidon in this video. I got one game with it. It did its thing. Those special attack boosts right away with Moody were nice, but obviously this team is somewhat like luck-based, but can just rip through opposing teams. It's a lot of fun. Certainly better executed than what I came up with myself. But anyway, this was the Calm Mind Miraidon video, and we'll find out together next time with 19 legendaries remaining on the wheel which one is next.